welcome. It is Wednesday, August 3rd. We have a Live at 5 guest today. Maybe a mysterious one. I don't know if she wrote it down. But he's held up, so we're going to do some new things. Also, we have a new sound effects machine.
We have two sound machines now.
I'm going to press this.
Oh, that's the same exact one on here somewhere, right?
All right, we're going to stop and never do that again. Hey, you guys. We have some news. Yes, we have some news. And Ryan is going to talk to us about the news. Let's start with something happy.
Okay, so this morning we got some additional Hairspray casting. It actually came in last night from LA during the TV Critics Association.
Yes.
So Rosie O'Donnell and Sean Hayes, two Emmy winners who are very vocal about their Broadway love.
And Broadway alums, both of them,
They're doing Hairspray Live.
That's amazing.
So we have Rosie as the gym teacher, and Sean Hayes is going to be Mr. Pinky.
Mr. Pinky.
Yeah, so we don't know yet if they're going to do like multiple roles like they did on Broadway, because it was Jackie Hoffman.
The gym teacher was also Penny Pingleton's mother. Right. I'm sure you all remember this. But so we don't know yet. We don't know yet. But what a great cast. Let's talk about this cast for a second. Let's refresh our memories.
So we have Kristen Chenoweth,
Harvey Fierstein, J. Hud. I call her J. Hud.
Derek Huff.
I mean, you guys, there's so many. And who's Tracy Turnblad? Maddie
Bailey.
This is going to be amazing. December 7th.
Sounds great. Yeah.
Right? We will be tweeting.
And former Tony host, correct. Yes, they both won Emmys for hosting the
Tonys. And Sean Hayes and Kristen did it, that show.
There's a lot of Kristen love. Rosie loves Kristen. Sean Hayes worked with Kristen.
Yes. I mean, everybody loves Kristen.
Right.
Does anyone not love Kristen? If so, you stop watching.
Cameron. Okay, we'll stop.
We have some other things to talk about. Yeah. We have some sad news.
Yeah, so from last night. So James Houghton died at the age of 57.
He had stomach cancer.
He was
the founding artistic director of Signature Theater Company. And I'm sure you've seen like a lot of love for him on Twitter and Facebook because he was the head of the drama department at Juilliard.
Yeah,
so there are a lot of former students who are just, overcome, and it's really sad. But now we're going to move on to something happier, I hope. Go on. Okay. Something happy.
So we have casting for the band's Visit, which is going to be off-Broadway at the Atlantic Theater Company. So we actually had David Yazbek here last week, I think, right, talking about the show.
Sorry, I missed that. I was on vacation.
It was a lot of fun.
He's the funniest.
Watch that. So we have John Cariani, Tony Shalhoub. It's a great cast, so check that out. It sounds like a really interesting show, too, and that starts in November 11th.
Also, we have an exit interview up with Andy Kelso, who's in Kinky Boots, as we all know. He's been with the show for 5 years in all of its incarnations, including pre-Broadway, and started the show on Broadway, moved up to the leading role, has had a lot of life changes, milestones, and he's hilarious.
Yeah, it was a really funny interview, too, actually. Like, the things he was talking about.
He has a lot to say about Schmackery's.
Which, who doesn't?
And
if I worked that close to Schmackery's, I'd be there every day, so I commend him.
There's some good cookies. Good cookies, very important. What else is going on, Ryan?
So, Mr. Leslie Odom Jr. was on the Today Show this morning, promoting his new album, his self-titled album, and he was singing the song Brazil, like the classic song, in Portuguese, which, who knew that he could sing in Portuguese?
It's amazing. I'm excited for Dove Cameron in Hairspray Live. Yeah, there are a lot of cool people.
Yeah. And Dove Cameron previously played
We didn't even say Ariana Grande, by the way. We just skipped over that.
What's happening? No, but Dove Cameron played Kristen's daughter in Descendants on Disney Channel. And now they're going to play mother-daughter again for Hairspray Live.
Amazing. Amazing connections happening over at the Hairspray Live. But Midler has something to say. I think you should.
As she often does. So she finally commented on the Beaches movie that Idina Menzel is doing for Lifetime. She said that she can't wait to see it, and she hopes no one spoils the ending for her, which she was in the original.
We know how Beaches ends.
Yeah, I think she knows.
And if you don't know how Beaches ends, I mean, what? It
would be great if she could make a cameo.
CeCe Bloom's.
Yeah, like the mom.
Something's going on over there. We'll see. That would be fun. What else is going on? There's a lot of other stuff going on here.
So we have casting for the Public Works adaptation of Twelfth Night, which is what they do like early fall, late summer at the Delacorte Theater, Shakespeare in the Park, in Central Park. So Nikki M. James, Jose Lana, Andrew Kober are all going to take part in this. And it's also going to have like 200 people, both like professional artists and just community members from all 5 boroughs of the city. So that's a lot of people on one stage.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. And that has some music?
Yeah, that's Shannon Taub, who did Old Hats recently. she's gonna be composing new music for it.
Okay, that's all the news we have. If you guys have some questions, hi, hello. We're waiting for Isaiah Johnson, who got held up after his matinee of The Color Purple. Do I hear him? Or am I just showing my hearing? I hear talking. Do you have any questions for us? No? You don't? We can ask each other questions. Go on. We can also play with these different sound effects, like this one. You know what? I said I wasn't going to do that ever again, and I should have listened to myself. I know you're going to make a gif of that. I just know how you are. Oh. Yeah. Your question?
How was your time off, Beth?
It was good. It was good. Have either of you ever performed? Hello.
I want to hear about your performances, sorry, Beth.
Well, when I was in high school, I played a nun in Measure for Measure. Typecasting. And I was like in the ensemble, so I never wanted to be an actor. You?
No, not really. I acted as a kid just because I loved theater, but I learned like pretty quickly that like I wasn't supposed to be on the stage.
You're not supposed to be?
No.
Like,
no.
Oh, I'm sure there's
go talk about theater, but don't.
I'm sure there's I'm not going to do it, but I'm sure there's a sound effect for that. Here's my sound effect like on stage. Yeah, but I did play a nun in Measure for Measure. I think I was Sister Francesca, the head nun. And I wore combat boots and a full habit. My grandmother was so proud. Yeah, we're Jewish. That's my acting resume, ladies and gentlemen. I was in some other shows in the ensemble.
Yeah, I did like Music Man, Guys and Dolls.
You were Harold Hill? So was Isaiah Johnson. Wait a minute. You were Harold Hill?
No, I was Charlie Cowell, the anvil salesman who does not sing.
A non-singing role in the Music Man. There's music in the title.
Which celebrity would you love to interview?
Celebrity.
Who you have not interviewed before, let's say. I'm going to go with Bernadette Peters.
I've interviewed Bernadette Peters.
I know you have.
She's so nice. And she smells really good. Who we've never interviewed, or who do we just love interviewing?
So that's would you love. So
would I love? Would I? I don't know. That's a hard one. There's so many to choose from. Can we narrow down the question, please? Do I have any stage mishaps? Not having been on stage very much, no, I do not. There are certain celebrities I always love interviewing. Who do I always love to interview?
Nathan Lane.
I love Nathan Lane. He's hilarious. When will you guys start to preview the fall season? That's a good question. Are we going to be previewing the fall season? I think we will. We'll do something special. Yeah, like we've done a lot of different ways. Mm-hmm. Stephen Sondheim. You know what, Jeffrey? That would be great. I would be so scared, though. My knees would be a knockin' if I had to interview Sondheim. I've spoken to him, and I've touched his hand. I've shaken his hand, and that's about it. Tell us about your pets. Oh, you guys really? I don't.
How was Cats?
I haven't seen it yet because I was on vacation.
I saw it, and I had a lot of fun. A lot of great dancers and singers on that stage. And it was my first time seeing it. I grew up like really into like the cassette tape. Would rent it from the library.
Oh my God, cassette tapes.
Yeah. But I never saw it, so it was my first time, and I loved it.
I have seen it, and I'm seeing it again this week, and I'm really excited because I'm bringing my daughter. She's gonna love it. She's gonna love it. Would you wait? Stop the press. I know this is fascinating.
We're sure you love that.
But now I'm gonna kick you out.
Okay. Bye, Beth. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Isaiah Johnson, ladies and gentlemen.
What's up? Hey, Live at 5. Hi, Beth. Good to see you.
Guys. Isaiah Johnson's here.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm great.
Thanks for coming over here. I mean,
absolutely.
This
Thanks
man
for
just
having
did a
me.
show. He's here. Everyone's so excited. He just did a show.
How you guys doing?
And yet you pulled all this fashion together for us, so I really appreciate it.
Well, this is how it came.
This is how you show up. This is what he does. Hey.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay. Can we talk about this show for a second?
Yes.
Have you all seen The Color Purple? Because I ugly cried my face off.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's bad.
It's bad.
I also laughed and had a wonderful time, and then I went back and saw it again.
Yeah.
You have the worst job on Broadway.
Yeah.
You have all these people you have to work with. That Cynthia Erivo.
Yeah.
That must suck for you.
They're terrible. Her breath stinks.
Her breath is bad. And that Heather, you had to fall in love with Heather Headley.
Yeah. Also bad, you know.
And J Hud. I'm not even talking about that. I mean, come on.
Yes.
So you've had a tough time.
Yeah, J Hud's just loud. She's just a loud person, so it was very difficult to like work with her.
Your
You
ears
know
were
what I
ringing.
mean?
Yeah.
She's just loud. She's just loud in every way. She dresses loud. She talks loud. She sings loud. It's just very difficult, because my process is very much more internal, so I try to just maintain a quiet atmosphere.
You guys, this is such a good show. I know it won a Tony and stuff, but you don't have to listen to those people. Listen to me. It's amazing. And you have a really tough role. I mean, you have a little redemption arc, but you're basically hated a lot.
Yeah. There's
a lot of hatred aimed in your direction.
Yes.
Look how happy he is, though. Tell me about how that feels every night.
It's interesting. I think it depends on the night. It feels incredibly liberating at times, and sometimes it feels more difficult, particularly on Tuesdays.
Today's Wednesday. And Wednesdays.
Wednesdays are good for me.
You mean like getting back into it after
it's
being away?
It's Tuesday and the Saturday matinee. Those are the two most difficult shows for me because I'm not him. So Tuesdays, I'm completely renewed and fresh, but then I have to go so far down the rabbit hole of emotion. Yeah. And sometimes it's just tough to do on Tuesdays, It's the first day show of the week, and then Saturday matinees come around, and it's just it's been building all week.
Yeah.
So it's opposite. It's oh my God, I cannot do this anymore.
It's amazing.
And then Sunday comes, and we all come out on the stage, and Carrie sings, "It's Sunday morning," and we just leave it all on the stage at the end of the week.
Those church ladies.
I'm not trying to tell you which show to buy tickets for.
No. All the shows
all of the
good.
shows are quality, you know, but we work together well, so no one person, whether they're having a good show or a bad show, determines the fate of the entire story. It's a beautiful story. It's always good, and it will always change your life.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we've got a very unusual comment here. Jason saw your show twice this summer. Amazing.
Hey, Jason.
P.S. You had the best pants at the stage door. Mister's pants. Tell me about that.
I like wearing fun pants.
He's got some fashion going on. Sunday night.
What can I say? That's not why I got hired, though.
No, that's not why.
So.
All right, let's talk about your background a little bit.
Okay.
You moved around a lot.
Yeah.
Ended up in Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
That's not where most Broadway performers are from, in my experience.
Not
That's
at all.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
You've done Shakespeare with some big, important people.
Yeah.
And now you're in this amazing show. You got to meet Alice Walker.
Yes.
I mean, are you pinching yourself, or am I just doing it for myself?
The thing about Miss Walker is that when I met her, I had already read The Color Purple, Temple of My Familiar. I read her first novel, The Third Life of Grange Copeland. And those are very, very deep, very emotional, very, at times, horrific stories.
Yeah.
And to meet this little sweet woman who is just like the closest thing to Buddha that I know on earth. She's just so sweet and so peaceful. Now, don't get me wrong, she has fire, and you can hear it in her interviews, and the directness. However, I just couldn't imagine that these stories will come out of this beautiful, sweet woman, and I just love it when she's around. I wish she had more time to come visit us. Alice, please come back.
Come back, Alice.
Come back, Alice.
Somebody wants to know if you'd like to revive Dream Girls for Broadway. They say next season, but I'll take it anytime.
You know what? I am a huge fan of new work. I think this season was a wonderful example of a good balance between new work and revivals. So I personally would not like to see Dreamgirls revived. Okay. I think we've done Dreamgirls to the extent that it can be done in this century. I would be interested to hear new Effie White stories come out because they're out there. We just have to work a little harder at getting them told.
So someone loved doing Peter and the Starcatcher. There's some similarities actually between Peter and the Starcatcher and this production of The Color Purple in that it's very spare. A lot of imagination is used in the staging.
Yes.
And that was Roger Rees, of course. Who
Roger Rees, Alex Timbers,
So tell us about that experience.
It was incredible. Once again, I was blessed to have a fortunate, amazing, supportive, and uber talented cast, from which we also got Tony nominations and won Best Actor in a play, Christian Borle. That experience was amazing, and to work with Roger Rees and Alex Timbers and Rick Ellis.
Yeah.
and Stephen Hoggett, like these
They're such
amazing
great people.
who to this day, if there's ever a project that comes along that's like in development, I'm like, hey, you know Stephen Hoggett? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's just, it was an incredible experience, and the spares, you know, the sparsity in which we work.
Yeah, it was a very
As it
interesting
relates to
set.
The Color Purple, I think it's just a wonderful way to start work. I think if you're creating any piece of art, start with nothing first and only add things that are absolutely necessary. It's cheaper.
That's true.
And thereby a producer would love to produce it because it's cost effective. It also provides endless artistic freedom for the
Absolutely.
artist to be able to just use their bodies, their voices to create, which is how we all got into this mess in the first place. So let's just stay there until we absolutely have to add something else.
So Jason wants to know, what's your favorite part of the show?
Of The Color Purple?
I'm going to say The Color Purple.
Of The Color
yes.
Purple. My favorite part of The Color Purple, Jason, that's a really good question. I think it's when the guys come out. It's when the guys come out for
Big dogs. Those guys?
not Big Dog. Brown Betty.
Oh.
It's when the guys come out for Brown Betty. I just think it's such a fun entrance of a song. It's hilarious. Harpo's feeling all bad because Sophia left him and all
That
his
is
friends
funny.
are picking on him. It's just so fun to hear off stage.
I have never heard. I'm going to keep talking. Is this okay, Caitlin? Are we on?
I don't know.
Are we off?
I don't know. I don't
We should just
understand.
hang out
I
together.
think we're
don't
on.
know.
You know, when I do my own personal videos, it says trying to connect, and I just keep talking. But then when it comes back,
We're
it
gonna
always
keep
has the
talking.
full video.
I love that you picked that part because this is such a female-driven show, and I love
Yes.
that you love that part too, where the guys have their moments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Great, strong women in this show too.
Oh my goodness, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think, we don't have enough of that
Yeah.
in theater. We really don't. And I think this season proved that we can have more and still make the same amount of money, if not more. So
Oh yeah. Because
I'm
you're a
all
huge
for-
hit. Hello.
Well, yeah, thank goodness.
You know, audiences react to this show so strongly.
Mhm.
Tell me about some of your favorite audience reactions.
My favorite audience reactions has actually come like when I'm not at the theater. When
You
people
mean, like, people
approach
just
me on the
approach you?
street.
Oh,
That's
wow.
what I love. When people just approach me on the street
Do they call you Mister?
far from the theater. No, they don't. Respectfully, I love that. I actually appreciate that. It's a terrible name to be associated with for the rest of your life,
That's true.
which hopefully won't happen. But my favorite story was there was a guy who was an ex-con. This actually happened after the show. It was a guy who was an ex-con. He was released. He was incarcerated at Leavenworth. And he said that while he was there, the prison movie was The Color Purple.
Wow.
And everyone was quiet and respectful, and the movie was going, and then the power went out right before the end of the movie. And when they when they got the generator going and the lights came back up, he said he turned around and almost every inmate in there, even people who he was afraid of, were just weeping. And he said from that point on, when he got out years later, when he heard that The Color Purple was on Broadway, he knew he had to
That's
bring his
amazing.
wife. And they came to the show, and they were just the most just beautiful beams of light, and they definitely made me feel really good that day.
That's amazing. It really touches people.
Yeah.
And you can hear it in the theater.
Oh yeah, I mean we all have the same experience. I think that's why the characters, Mr. and everybody in the theater is changed at the same time, because we all share the same artistic experience. We all watch Celie go through this.
Yeah.
And for us, we're actually a part of it, which is...
And everyone relates to a different part of it, but everyone does relate to it.
Everyone relates to it, and it was my job to make sure that Mr. was a recognizable character. It was my job to make sure that he was someone who people could say, you know what, I know a guy like that, whether it be because of his behavior or because of his reformation.
It's amazing. Now, we have to go, but I have to ask you about working with Pacino
Yeah.
in The Merchant of Venice,
Yeah.
which you were amazing in.
Thank you.
What were you, the Prince of Morocco?
The Prince of Morocco, yes.
Prince of Morocco,
Yes.
starting off the little royalty. But you were with Pacino
Yeah.
on Broadway.
Absolutely.
So how much did you follow him around and bug him?
I tried to bug him less as I possibly could.
Were you starstruck though?
Well, the first thing I did to get in his good graces was that I always ate his leftovers, because he would order like this $100 steak and eat like a quarter of it, and then he would like put it outside. Now that sounds real bad, but an $100 steak outside of the dressing room is still worth $68, which is more than I've spent on a steak thus far.
So you ate Pacino's leftovers, and that made him happy.
I think it made him happy.
Not while it was still on his plate. Like, you waited till he was done. You weren't like, oh, I'll take that fry.
I mean, I would have if he let me in the room.
Oh my God.
But he didn't. My favorite Pacino story is my monologue with Lily Ray was kind of over in like the first 20 minutes of the show, so I had like a lot of downtime. And I was listening to the show from my dressing room, and I can just hear it in his voice that he was so inside of the
character?
Pound of flesh scene.
Yeah.
And the does not a Jew cry? Right. You know what I mean?
He
was so inside of that monologue that I like rushed downstairs as quickly as I could to watch it off stage.
Mm-hmm.
And when he came off stage, before he went to his dressing room, I was like, Al, listen, I know you don't need me to tell you this, but I have to tell you, you were so good in that scene. You were so truthful. You were so inside of the moment. Did you feel, I needed to know. I was like, did you feel that? Or was that just like me? And the look of a 10-year-old boy came across his face, and he was just like, thank you. You think so? Like, you really think so?
Oh,
thank you so much. And it reminded me, I was like, that's why we do this, right? We do this because those moments of truth, absolute truth, are so few and far between, but they're magical moments, and it's like a drug, and we keep chasing it. You know what I mean? We keep chasing it.
And how wonderful to have someone else recognize it.
Absolutely, and that's why he's still in the game. He's in the, not because,
he doesn't need to do Broadway.
He doesn't need to do anything for the rest of his life.
He doesn't need to finish his steak.
He really doesn't at all, especially if I'm around. But, he still does it because he loves it, and he still does it because he knows that the challenge of text and bringing truth to that it's a never-ending story.
I'm going to bring you back here in like 20, 30 years when you're doing some Shakespeare on Broadway.
Yes.
And I'm going to ask you who's finishing your steak outside your dressing room door, okay? We'll find some young person.
I don't waste food.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It'll never happen.
Never.
Never happen, so try something else.
Thank you so much for coming here.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being so awesome in The Color Purple. You guys go see The Color Purple.
Please do.
Bring some tissues. Just do it.
Yes.
Just don't forget the tissues.
Yes, and don't forget to leave your steak at the stage door.
Yeah, and check out the fashion at the stage door.
Thank you.
Bye, you guys.